I'm joined by two Zimbabwe 15s rugby players. That's Kudzai Mashawi and Aiden Bennett. Aiden, good morning, and thank you for making time from your guys' training program and joining us on Morning Rush this morning.
No, thanks for having us. Good to be here.
How's it been in terms of the preparations and building up to Uganda, the Africa Cup? I know you guys are leaving later this week.
Yeah, it's been really tough. So we've been pretty much in camp since January, and we've had a lot of hard games. Our two tests against Zambia were a good test match, just to try and see if we're ready. And looks like the boys are all firing on all cylinders.
Right, and because I know you're one of the elder statesmen, if I can use that word. Let's say elder, let's not say old. Elder statesman in the team. You've been part of the set-up for a very long time. What have you made of this current squad, and how you guys preparing for the Rugby Africa Cup in Uganda?
Yeah, I think this is an exciting team with a mixture, like you're saying. You've got the elders in there, and you've got the young guns who are really exciting to watch. Just to mention a few names, Dian, you've got Brendan Zegenyedzi, and now with the impact of the guys like Blythe and Mafura coming in the squad, I think it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks for us.
I know both of you guys were part of the last squad that tried to qualify for the Rugby World Cup. Obviously, that didn't quite happen. In terms of maybe what you're telling the other boys who are maybe a bit newer to the camp, Aiden, what have you guys been telling them about that qualification pathway and the things that maybe you guys want to sort of improve on from the last campaign?
It's not easy, The last Africa Cup didn't go the way we wanted it to go, down in France, up in France actually. So yeah, it's exciting to have all these under-20s guys coming through. A lot of those guys, they won their under-20s Africa Cup. So it's exciting to bring all that young talent into the team, and they know it'll be a hard job. We got Uganda up first, and that's never an easy task in Uganda.
All right, and obviously Pete Bernardi, who was part of the technical team as an assistant now, but elevated to the head coach now. How important has that been in terms of the transition to have somebody that was part of that system sort of work your way, guys, and work with you guys as you guys transition to Uganda? Yeah,
so for the guys that were in the previous squad to coming into this squad, it's pretty much the same. Pete's brought a lot of new stuff in as well, which is really good. And he's really taking care of the younger guys as well. He nurtures them quite a bit. When us senior guys are a little bit hard on them.
So you guys are the tough big brothers.
Yeah.
All right, and then Kudzi, obviously a bit of changes in the technical setup. Obviously, Pete Bernardo, obviously one of the mainstays, but a lot of different experts coming through. I think Makwanya also coming through with his expertise. That leadership group, how important has that been in terms of trying to get you guys ready for Uganda?
It's been really great looking at T-Mac, obviously having him being in the system for long as well. He was actually my senior player when I got my first cap. So someone you can relate to from club rugby and going to a setup like this, and also with the other coaches that have come in, guys who are specializing on stuff wherever they are there. It's quite some good information that they're putting in the systems with the guys, and guys have really bought into it, and everyone is on the same page, which is good for us.
I mean, looking at the competitive matches you guys have played, obviously, most significantly as Zambia, you guys tried almost two different teams in those two different matches, but they were closely matched encounters. What are some of the things that you guys would be looking at and say, these are the things that we would want to sort of build on going into Uganda?
I'd say because the first thing, we got the W's, which is important. Winning is a good culture. So the boys know the feeling of winning. The physicality, the boys will know where we're going. It's going to be tougher than the opposition that we played, obviously. But the guys have gone through it, and now it's just a matter of the bodies going through the same process, and obviously with the mindset carrying them through.
And in terms of the younger players that have sort of graduated from the under-20s and some of the international players who maybe wouldn't really take part in those friendlies that we played against Zambia, how has their assimilation been into the squad?
I would say, looking at the quality that we have, it's not going to be hard for them, or it hasn't been hard for them to actually catch up with the guys that have been there already. It's just going to be a thing where everyone has to be on the same page on the same day, and because of the enthusiasm that these kids have, as you saw with the under 20 teams, those boys have fire, and obviously the level, like I said, the level that the guys that are coming from, it's a top level, so there shouldn't be a big gap between the players.
Aiden, you did speak about the last Rugby Africa Cup and maybe even that journey to try and qualify for the last edition of the Rugby World Cup. I remember just following that campaign, there was a lot of support. I think the team was in South Africa for a very long time. There was a lot of support. Everything seemed to be on point. Looking now specifically to Uganda, I think you guys leave on Thursday, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
You guys leave on Thursday. How focused are you guys in terms of the job in hand? And I know, especially playing against Uganda is going to be critical. Maybe if you can just break it down to us, what the approach is in terms of your guys' vision to try and qualify.
Look, we're going there to try and win, all right? We've got Uganda set up. We've been training a lot, focusing just on that game. It's a little bit different to the last setup we had. We've had pretty much the full squad in camp for quite a while now, so it's really good, training with all the different comparisons. You got Mashawi on the centre, then you got Dion, then you could have Brandon Mujikinyezi come in, and you could have Edward Senganko come in as well. Just trying different opportunities as well. It's really good. But really we're going there to win. We are very hungry, especially. Still bitter from that loss against Namibia. So we're coming for fire.
Coming for fire. And I found it interesting. You did highlight a few of the backs.
Yeah.
And when people look at Zimbabwe rugby, it's always the same thing. We would like to play a running rugby game.
Those are the names that I know. I don't think anyone knows the forwards.
but that's where I want to zone in on in terms of like our forwards. Because I think I've seen, especially towards the tail end of the last campaign, and even in the matches against Zambia specifically, a bigger impact from our forwards. How important of a role do you think the forward pack can play in creating a platform for the Sigaokes, the Mzekenyezis,
it's going to be
the Mashawis? You guys do the dirty work, right?
No, it's going to be major. So we've got a bit of a different team than we did to Zambia. We've had a lot of guys flying. Kloppers Kundioma, Blythe, who plays in the Sharks, Dylan Utete. Who else am I missing out there? Goofy has come from Poland. It's changed a bit. We've got a heavier pack now, which will be good. So we've got some weight in the mauls and the scrums. We're looking to really scrum them to death. We've been training a lot on our scrum. So just to be dominant, to give these guys forward ball would be the ideal thing for us.
All right, so, you see, they're planning to do the dirty work, set it up for you guys. I remember watching, especially the Zambia test.
Yes.
For I think at the Moana group. Africa, first of all, I think it was the first time that we'd seen you back in the national setup. After sort of like a brief hiatus. I don't know what it was. Maybe you were sulking or something. But I was impressed with how you still had that explosiveness. Now in terms of all these young kids, the Sigaokes, the Mzekenyezis, what's the competition like amongst those backs, especially for places where it's, blending that experience that you guys bring and the explosiveness that maybe a Sigaoke can bring to the team?
Well, to be honest, it's really about complementing each other's strengths. They know Sigaoke is a finisher. We know Sigaoke can run. We know Dion is exciting, is explosive, is there. Brendan wants to do everything on the field. So complement each other, play to each other's strengths, and definitely make sure that we give the defense a good run for their money. And with the backing of these forwards, like what Aiden is saying, we're going to be exciting, and it's going to be exciting for us as well.
All right. Maybe just before I let you guys go, obviously, now looking ahead to Uganda, you said obviously that's the win, but what has been the mood in camp? And maybe just a message to the fans who are like maybe biting their nails and going like, oh, we have to go through this roller coaster again.
No, it's been excited. I think a lot of the boys are excited. It's a new chapter, a new coach, different team. We're excited to see what happens. Obviously, we've got a goal of winning, but that isn't the end game. We want to take this journey together as this squad and look to the future. And it's very exciting to see what comes up next.
Final words, Kuzi, to the fans. the message. What are you promising to bring back from the Rugby Africa Cup?
Well, support us, believe in us. We're going to do our absolute best to make sure we get the right results that we deserve, that the nation deserves. We've got our systems in place, and we just have to go out there and make sure that we rally behind each other and we support each other all the way.
Okay, Kudzai, Aiden, thank you for coming. I'm not going to keep you here too much longer in case Coach Pete says, hey, you messed up my
training just now. Yeah. She messaged him.
Yeah, so I'm going to let them go to training. I release them on time if they're late for training as well.
Konapo. Ipapo pa ZTN Prime. DSTV channel 294. The place to be.